Hey, welcome back to the Mountain Morning Show. I'm here with Bill Humbert. He is a monthly guest of ours. So great to have him on. He is with RecruiterGuy.com. He's an expert contract recruiter and consultant and author. If you haven't seen Bill on the show before, he always has such great information to share with us about, whether you're an employer or an employee, going both ways, or looking to find a job and the best way to go about doing that. Welcome to the show this morning, Bill.
Thanks, Chelsea. Great to be here.
Yeah, it's nice to have you. And you just said you had a pretty fun weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me about that.
Mountain Trails Foundation did a great job. We went up to Round Valley and walked the trails for 2.5 hours. It was awesome.
And it was a really nice weekend. So it was a perfect time to be out.
Yeah.
So you got a little sun.
Oh,
Looks good.
Oh, yeah. A little suntan lotion on, but I still got sun.
Great. Well, today, like I mentioned before, even if you are currently employed, or maybe you're looking for a way into finding a job, volunteering actually happens to be a really great resource or way to kind of get into places you may not otherwise think that you could. So first off, psychologically, how do you benefit by volunteering?
Well, a lot of people, when, even college recruits, when they graduate from college, they leave a group of people they've been with for 4 years, and they go into what people describe, Chelsea's in a funk right now after graduation. And so a lot of times what happens, you're actually going through the stages of grief.
Oh my gosh, really?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The stages of grief after you graduate?
Yeah, because you're now leaving a group of people that you've gotten so close to, and some of whom you'll never contact again in the future. Mm-hmm. The same thing happens if you're laid off, or there's a restructuring, or let's say you just decide that I've gone the wrong path, this is the wrong company, it's the wrong job, and I have to leave here. You still go through those stages of grief. Now, for some people, it's drawn out longer than others, but psychologically, what happens when you start to volunteer is you're now contributing again, and so that raises your self-esteem.
That's excellent, and I can actually attest to that. Out of college, I would take, or helping out. I helped out with a local community food bank that actually didn't pay quite well. It was an internship, so I guess you can kind of call it volunteering, kind of not. But it really does something to you to be involved with other people, because you are kind of, you're all of a sudden you're separated from this network that you had in college, or maybe at the place that you used to work at, and you're kind of lost.
Exactly.
Because you spend at least 8 hours a day with these people, and all of a sudden you have to find a new profession or a group that you're going to be with. Kind of explain that more.
Well, what happens is, first of all, people's favorite way of trying to find a job is to post and pray.
Looking for a job, shout out, hey guys, hit me up.
And then pray. And the problem is today, a lot of the applicant tracking systems are doing the selecting for HR. So it's the software that's selecting. It's not people selecting.
Oh, I see.
And that's the reason people are so frustrated, because it goes into a black hole. Networking is the best way to find a job. And so 74 to 76% of all jobs over the last 40 years have been found through networking. So where are people spending their time? Well, usually posting and praying, because that's easier. Volunteering, first of all, gets you out, gets your self-esteem raised. And then secondly, it's providing with a whole new group of people to network with.
Excellent. Okay, so going on, so how does volunteering for nonprofits actually help your networking? And for some people, they may not even think of this, but I guess it's obvious as you consider all the people you'll interact with, just like you mentioned.
Well, it's not just the people you're going to interact with. If you do a really nice job for them, who are the members of the boards? Business people. Lots of times executives.
There's your in.
And there's an in. The director will, during their meetings, the directors like to brag about the good things that have happened, and they should. And so what happens? They brag about, wow, we got this great new volunteer who might be an accountant that's helping us with our books, might be someone who's just hands out there, like at Furburbia, working with the dogs and the cats at Furburbia.
Love those guys, Kathy Clark. Yeah, volunteer with them. She's awesome.
That's right.
Anyway.
Yeah, or mountain trails. We have so many great nonprofits up here in Park City, where you have, pick the area that's your passion, and then go help them, and then get the attention of those boards.
And Bill, one thing I have to say, I love that we're talking about nonprofits today, because our weekend show was actually nonprofits and charitable organizations. You know, we visited the Peace House, Habitat for Humanity, Christian Center of Park City, People's Health Clinic, and we headed down to Salt Lake, the road home. Oh my goodness. So talking to, you know, those executive directors and volunteers, there is such a huge need for more volunteers.
Oh, yeah.
And they just eat that up. They want your help. And there's so many ways to get involved. And Bill, I love how you brought that up. A lot of these board members, you know, that are with these nonprofits can really be great connections for you.
Oh, absolutely. You know, and you add to that, and a lot of people don't think about it, but the Park City Performing Arts Foundation is a nonprofit.
And there's so many more besides what I mentioned.
And Mountain Town Music's another nonprofit. So there's, you know, whatever your passion is in Park City, chances are your avocation passion, you can help satisfy that and have fun and contribute while you're unemployed. And you never know, it might lead to a job.
Yes, in the perfect circumstance. But even if it doesn't, it's a great thing to put on your resume, because, you know, what I've heard, and you can say yes or no to this, but even if you don't get a job from it, a lot of times when employers see that volunteer work, they're like, okay, this person's willing to put themselves out there to do something that they're not paid for, but that they're passionate about, and I like that.
Right. Well, a lot of companies today, more than 20 years ago, but a lot of companies today really do look for people who give back to the community, because that's the kind of company that they're trying to brand themselves as being. And so one of the things that you can do is go to a corporate website and look at the different nonprofits that they support, and then try to volunteer at one of those.
There you go. Whatever company you want to work for, find out who they give money to or help out and partner with, and that's a great idea.
You know,
I like
if you
that.
stick around with me long enough, I'll come up with a great idea.
They are pretty good usually. Bill, I would say 99% of the time they're, no, actually, Bill played a very important part in actually assisting us in hiring for 2 of our positions here. I want to say thank you publicly to him for our co-host position, and also our director / editor / videographer, the guy that does everything behind the scenes. Thank you for your help with that. He was able to assist us with doing that. So this guy knows what he's talking about. Bill really does know what he's talking about. And then so last thing with that. So how we kind of did a brief rundown of a lot of organizations you can get involved in. So if you do want to volunteer, how do you go about finding a company or a nonprofit that you want to volunteer for? You mentioned going on the website and looking, but what are some other ways?
Well, just pick out the yellow pages.
That works too.
Go old school.
Yes.
Pick out the yellow pages. You can Google or Bing a nonprofit, Park City, Utah, and you'll probably come up with a whole list. And then call them. You know, that's the best way, is just call. And that's giving you practice for networking too.
Nice. And so along with that, like as soon as you've established who you want to volunteer with, who you want to help out, is that the best way to go about it? Should you call first? Should you send in like a resume saying, hey, I want to help out, these are my credentials? Or just call them and say, hey, I want to help out? That's all you do? Just call them. Great.
Hey, I'd love to help out, you know, and they might say, hey, come in and talk. I mean, the nice thing about nonprofits, Pat Mensimer, who works with me in Park City Career Network, she said, nice thing about nonprofits, they're not going to fire you.
That's a good point.
So, you know, call them up and just say, hey, I'd love to come down and chat and see where I can contribute through my volunteering.
All right.
And most executive directors will just take that call and say, come on in.
I know, like I said, they're always looking for help, and in my discussions with a lot of these organizations around Park City, they are looking for help. They're not going to say no. They can always use more help, and so a great way to get into that field you want to work in, or like, you know, it's not just if you're unemployed, but if you want to switch maybe professions, fields.
Or just get out there and
help
and contribute.
That's right. Yeah. Great. Well, Bill, thank you so much. And I want to give you a little bit of time to talk about, you have some events coming up. Tell us about those.
Next Monday, June 11th, I'll be down at LDS Employment Services, and I'm going to be doing training on networking. Don't go down there and be comfortable, because that's not going to happen, by the way. And coming up on June 30th, I have a book signing, and I'm presenting Secrets of a Successful Job Search at Barnes & Noble Sugar House.
Great.
And so I'm pretty excited about that. And actually this Wednesday, if there's any corporate recruiters out there, I'm presenting for free for ERE.net, Attracting Passive Candidates.
Perfect. Well, so people can give us your website where people can go to if they want to get more information.
It's RecruiterGuy.com.
All right. All right. Well, very good. Bill, anything else to add with a discussion about volunteering and getting yourself out there? I think we covered a lot of ground, but anything else?
We did. There is a Utah Nonprofits Association, and they do have a website. So Google Utah Nonprofits Association. It might be UNA.org. I'm not sure.
All
and
right.
they actually have nonprofit jobs, real paying jobs.
So you can go either way. You can volunteer or get paid for helping out. So, well, Bill, thank you so much for coming on the show. I do appreciate your time and once again for helping us. It works. You need to get in touch with Bill if you have any questions, or like he mentioned, some of his events coming up to get you involved in, the networking one. A lot of great things that he can help you out with. So remember, there's a lot of places in Park City that you can volunteer for. Head online and you can find those listed there.
And can I throw in one more plug?
Yes.
And this one's for Park City Foundation, which is the first community foundation in the state of Utah, by the way.
Okay.
This is way early, but put it on your calendar, November 16th.
That is kind of early, but it's going to be a good one. Tell me about this.
Live PC, Give PC. And it's a community day of giving. Last year, the people of Park City gave over $330,000 in 24 hours.
That is amazing.
And so
What
put
a
it on the
great event.
calendar. Yeah.
November 16th, so in a couple of months here. So
Yeah, a few months. About
yeah,
6.
yeah, a couple. It's a little ways out there. Well, Bill, thank you so much. Like I was saying, I do appreciate it. Always great to have you on the show monthly, and thank you for your time. Remember, check them out online. We're going to be right back here with more on the Mountain Morning Show. Stay with us.